A Raleigh woman who is blind was put in a frightening situation over the weekend. She says an Uber driver dropped her off at the wrong location and then drove away. WRAL's Sean Gallagher spoke to the woman today and joins us live. Sean, this would be frightening for people who have their sight.
Yeah, that's for sure, Gerald. And for this woman, Camille Richardson, it has her questioning everything. She puts a lot of faith in people to help her get where she needs to go. That's why when she was trying to get to this Verizon store yesterday and an Uber driver told her they were here, she had some questions. As a blind woman, it's important for Camille Richardson to be able to do things on her own.
So I do things a little differently.
Like getting the mail.
Oh, good. It's not overflowing.
Blind since birth, she's handled everything life has thrown her way, with one exception.
I always say the only thing I cannot do is drive.
For that, she relies on ride-sharing services like Uber. Sunday afternoon, she requested an Uber to the Verizon store. Richardson says she has a note in her profile that she's blind.
Also, I have a white cane, so it also lets people know that I am blind.
The driver walked her to a door, but she knew something wasn't right.
And he says, "Oh, okay, we're here. We're at the Verizon store."
Instead of being dropped off at the Verizon store, Richardson was at an apartment complex. It's more than a mile north of where she expected.
I say, "This is not the right place." And he says, "Well, I have somebody I got to pick up at the airport." And he takes off and runs away,
leaving Richardson all alone, essentially in the dark.
I couldn't even tell you what I was near. I didn't know the vicinity. He just dropped me and ran away. It's jarring. It's terrifying to the mind.
This is not the first time where folks with disabilities have been placed in a vulnerable situation. It happens every day.
Aviance Brown is Richardson's attorney. She says they're looking for Uber to make changes to not put people with disabilities in vulnerable positions.
How could you just abandon somebody like that, knowing good and well that I was not in the right spot?
Now, I reached out to Uber for comment, but they're still working on that response for me. And Richardson tells me she had plans to go out of town today, but she pushed that back because, Gerald, she's just not ready to hop back in an Uber quite yet.
You know, for a woman who is so independent, despite her blindness, she had to have felt helpless in that situation. You really feel for her. Thank you, Sean.